Welcome to Atheism for Life. Now, even though this is my first video, I've been an atheist and a strong supporter of evolution for a long time, and I think it's time for me to join the ranks of atheists struggling to be an intelligent voice amidst the sea of idiocy, better known as religion. I was turned on to this video by another atheist video, but I felt the points raised are too stupid to just be covered once, and I thought I'd take a swing at it from a slightly different angle.
Hey guys, Josh Fuererstien here. You know, the other day I had an atheist tell me that I was an idiot, moronic, and stupid for believing in God.
Yes, you are.
It took way too much faith to believe in a process like that, while he believed in what he called the science of evolution. Well, let's go ahead and let's do this. Dear Mr. Atheist, first of all, let me correct you, because evolution is not a science, never has, and never will be.
It's the scientific theory of evolution. Scientific theory is defined as a well-substantiated explanation of some aspect of the natural world that is acquired through the scientific method and repeatedly tested and confirmed through observation and experimentation. Heliocentrism is another scientific theory. When can we expect your video debunking that the Earth orbits the Sun? After all, as you say, it's just a theory, one not mentioned in the Bible.
Why? Because it cannot fit within the parameters and parentheses of science for one simple reason. It was never observed.
Bullshit. Charles Darwin observed evolution in the finches in the Galapagos Islands. They originally had short, fat beaks and used them to rip into the cactus to eat larvae and bugs. They evolved to have long, skinny, sharp beaks that are able to punch holes in the cactus fruit and eat the fleshy arrow pulp which surrounds the seeds. This dimorphism maximized their feeding opportunities during the non-breeding season when food is scarce. Due to the time evolution takes, it's difficult to witness evolution, but there are ways. Now, everyone's seen the evolutionary timeline of humans, and this picture, which most people are familiar with, is a seriously abridged version with many different versions in between, which archaeologists have found evidence of. The actual timeline would look a little bit more like this. And as another point, evolution has been observed in bacteria on several different occasions. It's easier to observe in bacteria since due to its more rapid rate of reproduction, many generations of bacteria can be observed in a short amount of time.
That's why it's not science. That's why it's called the theory of evolution.
I've already addressed this point, so I'm not going to do it again.
Now, let me show you how much faith it really takes to believe in evolution. You want me to believe that in some accidental cosmic bang, that out of that was created one cell, and from that one cell that all life springs, every plant, every animal, every single human being, and that somewhere along the way over years and years we mysteriously and magically all develop different wills, and we all develop different characteristics and traits, all because we willed it in our... I mean, you really think that everything came from one single cell? How much faith does that take? Now, I realize that you say that evolution is in science, and yet if we go back to science, the one thing that science demands, if maybe you've heard of something called the law of thermodynamics, which means that chaos can never produce order.
First of all, there are 4 laws of thermodynamics. It's not the law of thermodynamics. And secondly, in none of the 4 laws does it ever say that chaos cannot create order. In fact, while doing my research, the only time I saw a mention of that interpretation was on a Christian website.
Look at the world that we live in. The sun goes up, the moon comes out.
You can't explain that.
We travel around the sun, we have years, we have days, we have seasons. The tide comes in and out. Everything works like a clock. It has order. And yet, you cannot argue that a world that has order came out of an accident because it defies the very logic and laws of science.
We have days and months and years because man conceived them. It's not like the world just happens to take exactly 1 year to orbit the sun, or that the sun takes exactly 24 hours to complete a full rotation. We have a day based on the amount of time it takes to complete a rotation, and a year because of how many times the Earth rotates on its axis during its orbit around the Sun. And the fact that it happens to work like clockwork, as you say, is because of Newton's first law of motion, which states every object in a state of uniform motion tends to remain in that state of motion unless an external force is applied to it, meaning that the Earth and the Moon will move at the same speed unless something stops them.
You see, you think it takes a lot of faith for me to believe in a God that created this world, a God that created order, and yet, what if I were to tell you that somewhere in Oklahoma, a tornado rolls through a junkyard full of a bunch of old cars, and somewhere on the other side of that tornado, out of that junk pile, it magically produces a perfectly red, shiny, working Lamborghini? You would tell me I was nuts. You would tell me that I had lost it. You would probably try to admit me into the psychiatric ward. Why? Because that is absolutely stupid. I mean, how much faith would it really take to believe something as idiotic as that? And yet that's exactly what science believes.
What? What are you talking about? That's ridiculous. You can't equate a mechanical process with a biological one. It's apples and oranges. You know what? It's not even apples and oranges. It's apples and robots.
Everything in Earth was created perfectly. And I'm telling you, that could never happen through an accident.
Yep. You're right. Nature sure is perfect. Oh, wait. I forgot about that. And that. And that. And that. And that. And that. Among countless other things, of course. But if I go out and pointing all nature's imperfections, we'd be here all day.
It had to be by intelligent design.
No. Just as a side point, to additionally highlight his stupidity, he says that he debunks evolution in 3 minutes, while his video is almost 5 minutes long. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and will like and subscribe. See you next time.